By the way, some of this might be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Some guys may leave, and you got to fill the gap. My point is only that the Knicks are only going to have so much of a window to win championships with this group. Maybe this season's a good season, and the next season after that they win again. I don't know.
I think that after the season we had, unless if there are players that want to leave for better contracts and we don't have the money for them, you keep what you got. You don't fix what's not broke. I'm Camden from Fort Worth, Texas.
And I'm Mitch from Westfield, New Jersey.
And this is Big Apple Benches and Bleachers,
a father-son sports podcast. All right, Cam, it's another day, another week, another episode of Benches and Bleachers. I've been getting some really good feedback from friends. I just spoke to our friend Brendan because I was talking about some business and some other stuff we'll talk about off the mic, but he said he's been watching the show and he's like, "Oh, you guys are great." And it's awesome. So tell us what we are going to do today.
You got it. We got a loaded show this week, folks. The NBA season is over. Our
Yep.
New York Knicks are champions. Look at Dad's shirt.
Yeah.
The NBA draft is coming up. We got NFL mini camps wrapping up. College football season starting to get exciting. Basketball is got some coaching changes, and baseball we're heading towards the trade deadline. So,
right, and WNBA is pretty hot. They're going strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll go around the league after we talk about the Knicks and we talk about the NFL, and and we got the NBA draft coming up. But before we do that, Cam, I got for Father's Day from your uncle and aunt in Florida. Can you see that? Can you see what that says?
I'm billing for you for
this conversation.
That's funny.
Because my Google mug that said, "Don't confuse your Google search with my law degree," broke.
Oh.
So they got me a bourbon glass.
I love that mug.
Yeah.
But
the handle broke off.
Let's start where we have to start. I mean,
Yes.
We talked about it last week, but we'll touch on it again. The New York Knicks are NBA champions.
Yeah, it was a fitting finish to a great season, and I think that it was really what's the word? Like the thing that we've been waiting for. I mean, ever since you became a Knicks fan, I guess it was a little bit before you moved into the city, right? And
No, we've been Knicks fans our whole lives. So I just started watching again when I moved back into the city.
Yeah, but you went because you were in the city. It was there, and you made friends and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't take 53 years for you, but certainly an epitome of what's been going on. And I think that Game 5 was really a summary of, everything we'd seen this season. I mean, they were up, they were down, they fought. There were games that they got pounded. I remember there's a couple of Detroit games. It was like they weren't even a professional basketball team.
Yep.
And then, and they fought back just like Jalen had done and the boys had done in every single game this season.
And honestly, it's still, for me, it feels weird to say. The New York Knicks are NBA champions. For years, Knicks fans were the punchline of the joke. I mean, there are, Pixar movies where they talk about different characters, and then he gets angry and he snaps his fingers, and then the Knicks lose the buzzer beater. And, there's all kinds of things like that. Bad contract, bad draft picks, chaos at MSG. And now they are the standard for good basketball. The Spurs were talented, but the Knicks felt like a complete team. The Spurs had, Victor Wembanyama, along with a lot of other stars and a lot of other talent, but the Knicks had the tough, tight roster. They showed that no lead is too big and no guard is too small.
That's for sure.
And I think that segues into your next point pretty well.
Yeah. Well, I think that the Spurs are a talented team. They're a young team, and I think they got a long way to go. And I think we're an older team, and I don't know if we're repeating. Maybe we'll make some moves and keep our core together, and that's going to be what carries us into the next season and maybe the season after. I think the Spurs, you're going to see some trades with the Spurs. Wemby, they're going to build a couple of guys around, in and out, but they got plenty of time. They'll be around. I'm not worried about it. Why don't we talk about let's talk a little bit about, there was a couple of things that went on, I think.
I thought you wanted to talk about Jalen.
You want to talk about Jalen?
Yeah.
We talk a lot about Jalen.
I mean, your notes have Jalen in them.
They do?
Yes.
Oh, I see what you mean. I made that note on the second page. Yeah. Well, I think, I think this is an old conversation now, right? The conversation was always too small, a good player, not a superstar. But I think that everybody knows that he is a Hall of Fame player. I mean,
Yes.
the guy can step up whenever he's needed. Look, you have a lot more faith in the team than I do, but when they were down 29 points, nobody had ever come back from a deficit like that. Nobody ever lost being up 29 points. And he took over that game.
Yep.
I mean,
did.
just took over that game. And I think you told me
45 points.
That he hasn't had to pay for a meal since the playoffs ended, right? In New York. His money's no good there. And it really caused some cool things going on in the city.
I want to ask you, do you think that the Knicks are built for a repeat? The roster isn't set to change until 2028.
Well, I think that they could repeat. I think you're going to see some moves, but I think the core guys will stay together. I mean, there's going to be some guys who, and I understand this, right? That they didn't have big contracts last season, and like Shamet was on like a player's contract, right? He was getting basic minimum. I mean, and I said they should. These guys, how much do they have left in them? I mean, they should cash in when they can. So you're going to see some moves that way. I know we don't have a lot in the draft, right?
And the East is going to be strong.
Player or two. Yeah.
The East is going to be strong, especially because there's a lot of heavy talks about Boston trading for Giannis.
Yeah, if Giannis ends up in Boston, that's not going to be good for us.
Not good for us, no. But I think
maybe the deep part of the bench will be changed. Maybe Tyler Kolek won't get arrested trying to participate in. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Tried to cross the barrier at the parade, and the police thought that he was a fan climbing over. He's like, no, I'm on the team.
Yeah, I wanna talk about the parade a second in a moment before we move on. But I think the difference is now they went from the prey. I mean the prey to the predators, right?
Yeah,
like
no question about
everybody
it. People are
looks
chasing them now.
Everybody looks at that team and they know these guys are good. They can put it together. And so now that's the game that everyone circles on their schedule as, the Knicks are going to be hard. We're in MSG. It's the Mecca, all that stuff. And so I think that's going to be interesting.
Don't you think that when any teams come to town, they now know that these guys can win at any given time?
Yes.
And maybe they were on a long streak and they were on a road trip and they came back and they're having struggles for the night and there's no reason to come back 22 points in a game. But when the rubber meets the road and these guys have to get it done, and everyone knows that they could do it if they have to. And I think more importantly, they know they can do it. I don't know if Jalen ever had any doubt that he could. I mean, I think when they were down 22 points, he's like, what the? In Cleveland at 29 points, he took over. He just gets in a zone. I don't even think he realizes what's happening. He just does it one play after another play after another play and gets it done. He's unbelievable when he gets in that zone.
I saw a skit today on Instagram, and it was like Jalen Brunson throughout the first 3 quarters of the basketball game, and everything he shoots is bricks, which is funny because he had the highest first quarter field goal percentage in the entire playoffs. But sure,
he did.
Right. Yeah. But you see this, and then he says, he looks at Josh's, or whoever's playing Josh is looking at him like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, tell me we're down by 22 and there's 3 minutes left. And he's like,
right,
dude, we just started the fourth quarter. What do you mean? We're not down by 22. And he's like, tell me we're down by 22 and there's 3 minutes left. And then he starts fucking cooking everyone. Yeah. And it's very accurate because he knows he's got to put on a show, and he does. But let's talk about the parade. I want to give my buddy Lance a massive, massive shout out. I figured the viewers would love to hear this story. So Lance works for an art gallery in the city. And because of the art gallery, he has a New York City press pass. Throughout the regular season, he uses it to use the press entrance into the garden. Sometimes he'll post pictures on his Instagram of he's standing in the elevator and it's someone else's feet because he can't take pictures of someone's face. And then tagged on the feet is Shaq or Stephen A. Smith or because he's riding in the elevator with them. So The morning of the parade, he was feeling kind of sick. He got up with his girlfriend. She went to walk the dogs, and she said, "Oh, Lance, it's crazy. They're blocking off for 5 blocks up to the parade route. They're not even letting people in anymore." Right. And she said, "But if you want to go, I'll go with you." And they said,
I think people were sleeping out the night before.
Oh, yeah, the night before. So she said, "If you want to go, I'll go with you. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience." They went all the way down to the beginning of the parade route. And they go up to a police officer. Apparently, you needed special press passes that were given out by the mayor's office for the event. He said they told him he didn't need one. He figured at that point, I'm going to lie my way through this. I got a real press pass. If I can get in, I can get in. And if I can't, I can't. A bunch of cops told him no. Finally, someone said, "Yeah, go around to the other side and someone will let you in." He walked over. They said, "Oh, you're press. Come on in." They let him inside the barrier. So he's standing there right at the front of the first barrier. He's between the 2 barriers.
Yeah.
And they had all the guys walk kind of backwards, like maybe like a 1/10 of a mile to get to the floats, because they had them come in and then they went backwards towards the floats, got on, and then moved forwards towards City Hall.
Right.
And they're passing, and he sees Jalen holding his daughter next to Allie, and he sees Kat, and he sees OG and Patrick Ewing. He says, "Pat, I love you." And Pat looks over at him and says, "Thank you very much." And Steve Novak's there. And then finally comes Mike Brown, and he says, "Coach, I love you." And Mike Brown hands his stuff to his wife and runs over to the barrier where Lance is standing with his girlfriend. His girlfriend goes, "Who let the dogs out?" And then Mike Brown's like, "Who?" And he says, "Dude, you want to take a picture?" And Lance is like, "Yeah." And so he stops his video, takes a selfie with Mike Brown.
Yeah.
The parade starts. It's crazy. At some point, they get into the parade. They're walking behind one of the floats in the parade because they got jerseys on. They look like they fit in with everybody else. Right. So someone saw him and was like, "Dude, I told you can't be in this parade earlier. You got to get out." So they pull him out again. And then everyone's pulling up to the back of City Hall. That's where all of the floats are dropping off so the players can come in.
That's where the key to the city, the whole thing, right?
Right. But the back, because the front was where everyone came in through.
Right.
So first he sees Josh. Josh has got this massive group of people with him. Then he sees Landry. Landry's float goes by the entrance to the back of City Hall and then stops like 200 feet past it. The driver wasn't paying attention. So he gets out and he starts to walk back. Lance said to his girlfriend, "Follow me. Pay attention to where I'm walking." He walks right behind Landry Shaman, through the security, past the ticket holders, into the crowd, right? At that point, they're standing there. They're like, "Holy fuck, we were in the parade. I got to take a picture with Mike Brown. I'm going to see the key ceremony." It starts, they're like doing intros and everyone's walking on. And then someone comes to the back of the audience where he's standing at the back because he just got in at the end.
Right.
"Anyone with press passes, follow me." He's like, "Okay." They bring him to the front of the stage where the table with the keys are. So he's standing in front of Mitchell Robinson holding the key up. I mean, what an amazing, amazing experience.
Didn't he get to stay to see Alicia Keys too, you said?
Yeah, he said most of the people left. And it was like he got a front row for Alicia Keys for free. He said it was a fever dream of a day. And he was so glad that he went and did it because he figured, like, what are the chances? Well, yeah, she said, "Let's go." And he was like, "What?" Actually, I think she said, "It's going to be crazy, but I'll go if you want." And he said, "Oh, we're going." Pretty cool.
Yeah, just like I listened to you and your mother and said, "You know what? I'm going to Dallas." And we went game 2. If anybody watches the show, by the way, and you notice our opening graphic where the pictures drop onto the field and it says Benches Bleachers, is now an extra photo there of you and I at Frostbank Arena.
Fuck Victor Wembanyama.
Game 2. All right, so you want to talk a little bit about what else is going on in the NBA? You got a few more comments about your Knicks before we give them?
No, I think we've really covered it. I think at this point, anyone who's not a Knicks fan that watches our show is like, "Would you shut the fuck up already?" Right. So
we won't wear Knicks gear next week. I'll wear some IU stuff, maybe Giants.
This this is the deal, folks.
It's
I
our
got a New
fucking
York
podcast,
Nowhere shirt
and
on
you
right
can wear
now.
whatever you want.
I won't have all Knicks gear on.
Okay.
This is my hat.
Okay.
It's except for when Indiana football season starts, I got a different lucky hat. The Knicks lucky hat stays on my head until that.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, we could do that.
you don't want to see Knicks? Don't tune into the podcast.
Right. All right. Well, but before we put the NBA, because we're going to get to the draft a little bit, I have some notes, I think, about some things that are going on. Did you see, and this says they're finalizing the deal, so I don't know if it's official yet, but the coach of Michigan,
Dusty May,
who won the NCAA tournament this year, national champions, is apparently being poached by the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, I think they signed the deal this morning.
Did they?
I don't know if it's official yet, but that's a great move for the Mavs. They're going to be fun to watch next year, especially with Cooper Flag.
Yeah, and I think they are still not that good, so they have a bunch of picks coming up too with the
yes,
NBA
they do.
draft, right? So,
yes, they
and
do.
then I saw there was a small trade. There was small trade out of Oklahoma City. They traded Aaron Wiggins apparently to Atlanta for some picks.
Okay. Speaking of Atlanta,
I think that was to save money in the cap.
Speaking of Atlanta, absolute fuck Trae Young, but he got a $212 million contract, not in Atlanta, but with the Washington Wizards, which is great because they suck dick. So keep him
basketball's a kind of, you get one guy can make a big difference. Jalen Brunson.
Dad, I saw a skit.
Yeah.
One more, and then we'll move on. And
right.
They show the Knicks parade. It's animated. They show the Knicks parade. They're all on a float, hanging out there, listening to music, celebrating in the Canyon of Heroes. And on a bridge above them is Trae Young with spiky hair and a cape and a bomb in his hands. And he's like, I will blow up the Knicks celebration parade. And he turns it on. And it's got 20 seconds. And it's counting down. And then Wemby walks over and he's like, no, I shall blow up the Knicks parade. And he's like, you've never beat them in a series even. And they're standing there arguing, and the bomb is counting down. And then they both blow up. And then the Knicks are like, those fireworks are cool. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, well, and Wemby definitely imploded.
Yeah, he did. That's
all right, so before we walk away from the NBA, we can just say this because the draft is, what's tomorrow night? The next night?
Something this week.
22nd, 23rd, 24th, right? So here's some questions. I'm not going to answer them for you. I'm just going to lay it out there, right?
Okay.
Does you think there's anybody going to do a couple of trades to get into the lottery?
Always.
Who you think?
That's a much more difficult question. There's always trades, but I don't know who it's going to be. I mean, look, I saw a thing that was like maybe Oklahoma City will trade all 5 of their first-round picks for the first one. It's not going to happen, but there's all kinds of stupid hypotheticals.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, just like the Giannis thing. The question is, will the Spurs get Wemby some extra help? Because I think he's young and I think he made a lot of mistakes, but I think he needs a little bit more help. Those guys,
I'm going to be real with you.
Cold.
I think the opposite, okay? I think Wemby's very young. I think, just like you, he needs some more help, but I think that the talent is there. I just think they haven't had the chance to develop their roster the way that they've wanted to because these kids are young and they don't have a lot of experience. You give them 2 years, a year or two, and Stephen Castle will be playing like a vet, and Dylan Harper will be playing like a vet.
Yeah, but so do you bring in 1 or 2 more veteran guys?
Yeah, I think that if the Spurs are going to do something, you get rid of that stupid bumfuck De'Aaron Fox that nobody wants.
Yeah, they're getting rid of him.
And then you pick up somebody who's actually a veteran, not 28 years old, but 32 years old or 34 years old, that's got serious league experience. And then at that point, you have a different conversation because when you get into crunch time like that, where you're up by 10 and you're going to lose the game, the pro who's the seasoned vet can go and say, look, guys, we got to breathe. We got to calm the fuck down. We got to put our heads together and we got to play smart, controlled, concise basketball. And I just don't think De'Aaron Fox is that guy.
No, and I think that does come with maturity, and he's not the guy. Here's a question though for the Knicks, right? The Knicks are not in a building phase, right? They're a good team. They're a championship team. The question is, do they make like 1 or 2 win now type of moves? Bring in 1 guy, 2 guys to fill the bench a little bit. I don't know. You know players better than I do.
Dad,
But I'm saying like you're not looking for younger players because the guys are going to age out. So do you
this
take
is
advantage of your time and get another championship?
this is the my honest answer to you, and maybe I'm biased because I love the Knicks and I love our team that we have.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that this trade for like Kelvin Johnson, right? He was sixth man of the year this year. He
Mhm.
was sixth man for the San Antonio Spurs. Beast of a player. But to trade for someone like that, we got to give up Deuce and Landry and Tyler, or Ariel and Landry and Tyler. And like that's a lot of weight
Yeah, but
to
maybe
get rid
that's not
of.
the guy. And by the way, some of this might be a self fulfilling prophecy. Some guys may leave, and you got to fill the gap. But I guess we'll see what happens. I'm just saying, my point is only that the Knicks are only going to have so much of a window to win championships with this
Yes.
group. So you take it. Maybe it's not. Maybe this
But
season's a good season, and the next season after that they win again.
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think that after the season we had, unless if there are players that want to leave for better contracts and we don't have the money for them,
Right.
you keep what you got. You don't fix what's not broke.
No, I mean the starting
And
lineup's pretty solid, but Cat's been in the league what 11, 12 years.
yeah, but Dad, most players don't make their first finals for 8 to 10 years.
Oh no, I'm not saying. I mean he's probably got another 5 years or
He
more.
is right where he should
And
be.
Jalen's younger, right? He's got more time.
I mean, Dad, you know how many finals, wins Luka Doncic, Jimmy Butler,
Yeah.
like Cat has one now. So all the people that say Cat doesn't have it, Cat's too soft, Cat's too this, Cat's too that. Karl Anthony Towns helped us win an NBA championship.
No,
And,
there's no question about it.
maybe he didn't have as much of a big impact on the Spurs series as Brunson did or as he did in the earlier series, but the earlier series were where Cat really shined. We wouldn't have had that 13-game win streak without Karl Anthony Towns playing point Cat. And so you got to
Yep.
give him his flowers. But let's move
But
on.
he played tough in the first two games. But we
It's
want to
true.
go on to NFL now.
Well, we just have covered 20 minutes again of Knicks, and people are going to get pissed off. So let's cover
That's
some
okay.
other things.
Okay, so let's talk about NFL because mini camps are coming up,
Mhm.
and there's things going on. The rookies are out. It's going to be an interesting off season. So, what do you got? What's some recon you got about that?
I'm excited. I don't know if we've announced it, but the Giants signed 3 great receivers.
Yeah,
The last week I think it was in the middle of the finals. It was
Yeah.
we signed
OBJ.
Odell Beckham Jr. Of course,
Yeah.
welcome
I
back
think
to
he's
the
really
New York
coming to
Giants.
just finish his career out
Of
as
course,
a Giant.
but that's
Maybe we'll get
fine.
a year season out of him. Yeah,
Well, even as a vet, we'll take him. He'll teach
Yeah.
Malik how to play well. And
Right.
Colton Hood. No, not Colton Hood. Who is the other receiver that we got? Colton Hood is a cornerback.
yeah,
Malachi
got-
Fields.
right.
And we got Juju Smith-Schuster also on a veteran minimum. We'll take that. And something that I really like that I don't see getting enough conversation about is Braxton Berrios. I like that a lot.
You
He
like
was
him?
one of the most talented players on the New York Jets last year, and now they don't have him anymore because they suck. So, maybe the same thing will happen with Omar Cooper Jr. He'll have a shit
think?
4 years in the Jets, and then the Giants will be like, "Hey, you wanna,
I don't want to say that happen. I want to see him have a good career.
I know.
Even
I
if
would
it's with the
love to
Jets.
see it be where the
And if
Jets,
the Jets suck and he's good, maybe he'll ask for a trade and he'll get traded.
right? I would love to see it where the Jets are really good. I mean, not
Yeah.
that. Who's their quarterback this year? Geno Smith. Not that Geno is like the best quarterback in the world. He's not great.
He may be the worst. He's terrible.
Nah,
I know he played well in
there's
Seattle.
worse.
He played terrible in New York for both teams. He
Mhm.
was a piece of shit in college. He played for the Mountaineers
Mhm.
in West Virginia, and he had a reputation of being a dickwad. Never liked him in the pros. And then he was like right off the couch into Seattle because they needed somebody. And then he stopped playing for a while. Then where was he, in Las Vegas? And then he came out. I don't know. Whatever. He played well in Seattle, but big deal.
I saw
Doesn't
a
make him
thing
a decent human being. He's an
that
ass.
said that Minnesota is a curse for sports, and there was a bunch of examples. I can only think of 2 at the moment, but Cat spends 10 years in Minnesota, trades to New York. 2 years later, he's got a championship. You get what's it called? Sam Darnold. Oh no, that's
Sam Darnold. He was playing well in Minnesota. He was terrible in New York. New York, the Jets are like the worst place to play. Although the Giants in their
No,
history
I
have had
guess
players that were terrible with us and then went on to win championships. I told you about Craig Morton back in the 70s and 80s. He was the
tell the
worst in New
fans.
York. People used to bash his windows in. And then he goes to Denver, wins comeback player of the year, and they went to the Super Bowl.
I know.
So you can't. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Didn't Patrick Mahomes just sign a massive contract?
I think he
Like
did.
$250 million.
How much is it for? I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
Yeah, I think it's like $250 million.
They're stupid for that.
Yeah, well,
And Jordan will be mad at me for saying that. Yeah.
$250 million.
Oh
right?
my God. No. You're totally
More?
wrong. A lot more. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs agreed to a record-breaking contract extension, making it the first deal in NFL history to exceed $500 million. The reworked contract ties him
Now
to
you talk
Kansas
about real
City
money.
through 2033 with an overall value of $504.75 million. He gets $64 million per year, and all 105.75 is guaranteed.
All of 105 of it's guaranteed?
All 504.75 is guaranteed.
Well,
He can earn up to 522, including escalators and incentives. So if they win the Super Bowl,
he gets more money.
yeah, probably if he wins it multiple times, he probably gets more than that.
Yeah, well, so $64 million plus, he could live on that, right?
That's stupid.
It is stupid.
Are
money.
dumb. Forget that. It's dumb for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm going to call Jordan after we're done with the podcast and talk shit to him about it, because you know what? It is 2026. So you're going to tie that player to you for 7 more years for that much money? He's already getting worse. He's getting older. He's towards the peak of his career. You can't. That's a stupid move. They're going to end up regretting that about 3 or 4 years down the road, in my opinion.
You know you know what Bobby Bonilla Day is in New York?
Mm-mm.
Bobby Bonilla signed some contract. It was like 30. They ended up. They wanted to trade him. He had a guaranteed contract. They were going to buy him out, and they agreed to pay him every year for like 33 years. So it's called Bobby Bonilla Day. Is the day they got to write a check to him every year for millions of dollars. I don't know exactly how much. It
happened in the MLB like that.
He gets $1.19 million every July 1st until 2035. So, but however, I will say this: a lot of people don't realize that if you present value that, then the Mets are actually getting a better deal than just writing him a big check. They did the math.
Oh yeah, Jose Bautista.
No, not Jose Bautista. Bobby Bonilla.
Oh, Bobby Bonilla. You said the Mets?
Yes.
The same thing happened with Jose Bautista.
Yeah. Okay.
In 2004, the Kansas City Royals traded him to the Mets.
And they're
minutes later,
all over the place. Yeah. What?
Oh no, that's not how that works.
No. Yeah. So Bobby Bonilla is a big contention because a lot of people don't understand present value of money. The fact that paying him out till 2035 and $1 million a year is a lot of money. But if you present value it, they were going to write him a bigger check now. So they chose the long haul. They chose the cash flow route.
There was a Major League Baseball player. I'll do some research and come up with it for next week. There was a Major League Baseball player who was traded to lower cap space on another team because he was paid a lot of money. And then what happened was they signed him to the other team and then said he didn't clear his physicals and that he would play late or something like that. And he never played for the team.
And he still got paid.
For years. And that's supposed to be not allowed in MLB rules.
Professional sports is ridiculous.
I mean, the concept of professional sports as a whole is ridiculous. We pay someone, Patrick Mahomes is going to make $500 million to throw a fucking football made out of pigskin. I mean,
he can throw it.
Yes, he can. And Jalen Brunson can shoot it.
It all comes down to putting people in the seats, right?
It's true.
You can be sure. I mean, look, the Knicks are probably sold out for the next 50 years. I don't know, whatever.
They're always sold out.
But Jalen Brunson, you can be sure that anywhere he goes now in the country, just like Caitlin Clark, ticket sales are going to be higher than they were against other teams. So if you're in a market where, Where were you? Charlotte, right? Didn't you see
Mhm.
them in Charlotte? You were down there.
No, it
Charlotte's not
wasn't
such a
them,
good
but I
team.
saw Charlotte.
It's easy to get tickets. They're cheap.
That was
Knicks
before.
are in town. It's going to sell out and
That
makes
was
a lot of money.
before.
So he's worth it, and that's why he wants the money.
What's his name?
Who?
Con Knipple. That was before Con Knipple, so they were.
Yeah,
really
he wasn't
bad.
at Charlotte. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. They came out of Duke.
Some
teams to watch in the NFL, though. Let's talk about that a little bit. I understand that Joe Burrows is healthy.
Yep.
Which
so the Bengals are a team to watch.
That makes them dangerous. Yeah.
The Patriots are always a team to watch.
Yep. Dallas has some things going on. They made
Let's
some
say
trades.
it together.
Fuck Dallas.
Fuck the Cowboys. Thank you.
But you're going to go to some Cowboys games, right? If the Giants are in town and you.
Oh, what we're going to do is you're going to come into town and we're going to go with my manager to a Cowboys game wearing Giants gear.
Okay, we're going to record the opening to the podcast from there.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I was just thinking maybe we should look into tickets for the first game of the regular season next year for the NBA, because that's when they do the ring ceremony and it will be a finals rematch against San Antonio in Madison Square Garden.
Do it just like the NFL?
Yes. It's a finals rematch and they give you the ring.
That's
going to
be an expensive ticket.
Dad, we'll watch for when they pre-sell and then we'll buy them. I want to go.
All right, we'll see.
That would be sick.
We'll
watch Jalen get his ring. And you think Wemby's going to do well with that? Probably not. He's going to have a shit game after that. Sees them. Will. Dad, the same thing happened last year with or this year rather. Who did the Thunder beat in the finals?
What do you mean beat? They lost. Oh, the year before. Who did they play in the finals? Was it Boston?
I don't think it was.
No,
Boston, it was Indiana, the Pacers, duh.
Yeah, Pacers, right.
Pacers beat us. Tyrese Halliburton tore his ACL in the middle of the game.
Yeah, and they lost. You're right.
Middle of game 7. Yeah. But, I mean, it's...
All right, we'll look into it.
The same thing happened. Beginning of the year.
If it happen, Benches and Bleachers will be there. Okay?
Yes.
All right.
Teams to look out for. Yeah. Giants, of course. We got a powerful roster. We got John Harbaugh. And you know what's even better than all that? We got the luckiest motherfucking fans in the nation, Mitch and Camden Beinhacker. We got 2 natties this year. Yes. Let's make it 3. 1, 2. Where's the Giants? Let's make it 3.
I got Giants right here.
There you go.
Giants. You got Giants over here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see what happens. We got this over here. This is that thing you got signed when we were young. When you were young, I think that was Fan Day, the last time at the stadium, the old stadium.
Yeah. So when I move all my stuff to Texas, and you give me some of that memorabilia stuff, the stuff that's upstairs in my bedroom right now, like the signed football and the signed mini helmet and that stuff, that you can move to the bar, and then you'll still have stuff to put in the background.
Okay, we'll worry about that later.
I'm keeping the Eli bobblehead though. Yeah, it's got to go with the SIG, and I'm going to get a Brunson one holding the MVP trophy for my background.
All right, let's move on a little bit to college football, right?
Because it's already been 32 minutes. You know that, right?
I know that.
All right, let's do college.
Yeah. Well, I told you last week when we were on that I had just seen they were replaying the spring game, and then they were showing the Penn State game that we were at. So what do you know? And maybe we'll be more prepared next week. But what do you know that's going on in college football? Who we got some? The portals really changed the nature of college football.
Right? I'm trying to decide what game to go to because I want to go to a game this year. And homecoming should be fun, but it's not Ohio State.
No.
Oh wait, playing? I can't go to Ohio State. That's the weekend we're in Kentucky.
Oh, on the Bourbon Trail. That's going to be good, too. Maybe we could do an episode from there with the guys.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
But how are we going to get mics there? You're going to put them in your bag? I'll pack one, you pack one, and then we'll put them in the middle of the room and just... Because what we could do is set it up in the speakeasy.
There's some portable things we could get to through our phones. We'll figure it out.
We could set it up in the speakeasy in the basement and then do a group episode with all the guys. That would be fun.
Yeah, we could figure that out. Okay, so we'll get more into college football next week. Anything going on in the WNBA that you know of? think I got some notes on
There's
that.
always games in the WNBA, but we're just getting started, so I don't feel necessarily bad not giving them attention this week.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Well,
What,
college basketball there'll be some shakeups there too, because maybe I understand that the Hoosiers have some good players coming in, and now we know Michigan's losing their coach, so always hard to repeat, but we'll see what
Dad, you
happens
know
there.
what? You know how many what kind of high hopes we have for Sig the first season?
Is it this
Same
season?
thing with the Indiana basketball team. New
Oh yeah,
coach, first year he's breaking in the system, figuring out his moves, figuring out his guys, and you watch.
yeah. I know. Well, nobody's leaving the gate like Sig did, but we'll see what happens. Is there anybody like Cooper Flag was last year coming out of the NBA draft?
Yeah, AJ DeBansta or Dibansta. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it, but he's gonna go to the Wizards. And the I saw a video of him like shooting around for coaches before the draft,
Yeah.
and he missed like every shot he took, and all the comments are like, bro's really trying not to go to the Washington Wizards. And it's so funny because
That is
like,
funny.
you know,
All right, so just to wrap things up, so I know. By the way, if we hit some other sports, NHL, Carolina Hurricanes, congratulations, they won the Stanley Cup.
yes they did. Congratulations.
Wyndham Clark, congratulations, won the U.S. Open yesterday, second time in 3 years. So he wasn't a repeat, but he won 2 years ago, and he came back. There was some crazy stuff the last day, stuff out of the fescue, and it was nuts. But that was a good end to the weekend, and it made me think of Pop because he always used to watch the U.S. Open on Father's Day weekend. But I missed you, buddy, not being here for Father's Day.
Too.
We talked a lot, but I know you're busy going to work and making your life out there. So we will pick it up next week. You got any final comments?
I'm just very happy to be doing this. I'm happy to be getting a little bit of traction. I see more and more people are interested. We're getting more followers, views on our reels, things like that. So to all of the viewers, share us, enjoy our videos.
Like
if you haven't subscribed or liked, like and subscribe. And, thank you.
If you know people that are sports personalities, famous, not famous, involved in different kinds of sports, refer them to us. We're going to start taking guests on, maybe coming into this after the summer. So we'd love to.
We're gonna
hook up with some players.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna get some cool guests.
Some agents. I don't know, whatever.
I was gonna say I met somebody who is a scout for the Oklahoma City Thunder the other day. I don't know if we can convince him to be on our podcast. But
maybe in the fall as we come into the season.
Yeah,
that would be.
And
that
we're gonna have
awesome.
Just some sneak previews for people. We're gonna have the CEO of Axia Time, the company that makes the college football playoff watches. He's expressed interest in being on our podcast, so we're going to do that this summer.
Nice.
We're looking towards having one of my buddies works for the MLB doing stats, so we're going to get him on here. And just, we're going to keep rolling forward and finding new guests and talking about sports and joining you, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for joining. And, from Mitch and Camden,
we'll see you next week.
There you go.